I'm Leanne Ely. I'm a nutritionist, a New York Times best-selling author, and some people even say I'm a life coach. I started the Daily Dish Show to share my story, my truth, and my journey to vibrancy, and to inspire others to do the same. Because it's all about grit, perseverance, and finding a way despite the odds. It's about embracing the whole woman, not just the parts that are easy to love, and feeding her heart, mind, body, and soul. But I found that this isn't just my story, it's your story too. It's go time. This is the Daily Dish. Well, welcome everyone. Is this exciting or what? I'm here by myself, doing the show by myself. No Jenny here to help. I'm doing it all by myself. Anyway, so far so good. I'm glad to see that anyway. Welcome. I'm so glad you're here because it's Tuesday and we're live on Tuesdays. And I love our live shows because, the topics I choose are always a sampling from my life. Like these are things I need to start paying attention to. And I found that oftentimes this is something that you are interested in paying attention to as well. So I really appreciate that. Comments. Let me see if I can see the comments. There we go. There you are. Catherine, hello. It's very good to see you. And Jeanette, nice to have you here in-house. I hope I can figure out how to do the outro and how to close the show. But for right now, we're going to give Leanne her props because I'm doing this all by myself. Anyway, how many times am I going to say that? I'm doing it all by myself. Yes, I can do this. Yes, I can do this. It's true. We have a buy one, get one this week that is fantastic. If you've ever had a doctor say, we need to be watching your blood sugar, it's starting to creep up a little bit. Maybe they're even saying you're pre-diabetic or, something else that's a little bit scary. There are natural ways around that mountain. And this is Drop. This is one of I love this supplement. There is 6 or 7 ingredients in here that are effective and have scientifically been proven to help to lower your blood sugar. One of them is berberine, and there's some other bitter melon. There's a few other things in there. I want you to check it out. Just promise me you'll go check it out if you've been in that place. Savingdinner.com/drop, because this will drop your blood sugar if you use it on a regular basis following the directions. Also, making some wise choices, am I right? If you've got a sensitivity toward sugar and toward carbs, well, this could be something that would be well thought out and smart to put into your regime. So there's that. The other thing that I wanted to tell you is that I'm doing a class called Living Your Life in Full Bloom, and it has a workbook. It has all the things for it. These classes are going to go, they're going to be on I believe they're on a Thursday night, and they're going to go for 2 hours. I will teach beforehand and give you, some things. And then you have this workbook that you're going to be working through. It's beautiful workbook. We've already got a lot of people signed up for it. I'm thrilled about that. I'd like you to be there. I want you to consider this. It is an incredible class that's going to really move the needle in your life, especially if you're in this place of just feeling like, something's missing. Well, let's fix that. Let's fix it. Go to savingdinner.com/bloom, and you will find all the details for the class. And I would love it. I would be honored if you chose to join us for this. I think this is a really good thing to do this summer. Really get into the weeds with some of our stuff, because we all have a little bit, don't we? Carl Jung has our quote of the week, and it is a doozy. You ready for it? Where your fear is, there your task is. Isn't that true? We do, all of us have some kind of fear in our lives. And while I do not believe you can lead fearless lives, we can certainly live less fearful lives. We have to deal with our stuff, and we have to get into it. And that's the task. That's the calling sometimes for all of us, But anyway, that's how I look at it. And when I saw this quote, I went, boom, there it is. So confirmation, am I right? Hi there, Deborah. It's good to have you here. Jeanette's going to sign up for our full bloom class. Yay! I'm so glad. And today I'm glad you're here too, because we're going to be talking about something that I think is there's an important differentiator. And it's also, we're always going back to this whole thing. How is this helping me to live this most vibrant life that I want? How is what I'm doing moving that needle in my life? How's that working for me? And the thing that we're going to do is talk today about the difference between happiness and fulfillment, because it is such a huge difference. And I don't know if you know Ed Milet, but Ed Milet has this podcast. It's really, really good. Now, I did not see his show, but he had a blog post on it. And this is what he said. And it just made me think, bing, I needed to hear that. The things that make you feel happy are not always the same of the things that make you feel fulfilled. And we all know that intrinsically, don't we? But we don't think of it in the way that we pursue happiness sometimes. Excuse me. What was that? Sorry. That was a pretty good sneeze. That felt good. But isn't that the truth? We pursue this idea of happy way more than we pursue this idea of I want to be fulfilled, because we don't think about being fulfilled. We just think about being happy, just put on a happy face and be smiley all the time. But there's an insight to all of this, because this fulfillment is what is going to fill those little gaps up that we have in our heart. And fulfillment is the thing too that is going to give us this purpose and is going to give us this vibrancy. While happiness is fleeting, because unfortunately it is a fleeting emotion, and often attached to external things. That new car made you feel really good for a while. We were pretty happy for a while. And then it just became a liability, right? It's got to get fixed. It's got to get cleaned. It's got to get something done to it. But and same with achievements, that raise that you had or that promotion that you got at work. Now there's more responsibility and things. So it is a fleeting emotion. That's what happiness is. But it's temporary. It's here today. It's gone tomorrow. Maybe it even lasts a week or a month or whatever. But what we end up doing is we're looking for the next fix. We're looking for the next dopamine hit on getting the next thing. And that is a cycle right there. And that is a treadmill, if you will, of constantly being in the pursuit of something, striving after, and never quite feeling that place of contentment. But with fulfillment, it's completely different, because the whole idea of fulfillment is that there's a deep and lasting satisfaction that comes from within. It has nothing to do with the things that come into your life, like cars and promotions and all those other kind of things. It has to do with what's deep and inside. And it's when you are using your unique, beautiful, vibrant gifts. That's when this comes out. And it's sort of like, we talk about being in full bloom, but think about a little rosebud and how beautiful that is, and how we always get those gifts of, a dozen red roses that are all little buds. I always say, but those are not a dozen red roses. Those are a dozen red buds. Rosebuds is what they are. Undeveloped, unbloomed. But that's happiness right there. When they are in full bloom, their fragrance releases, their beauty is exposed. That is fulfillment of the rosebud's purpose, to live fully bloomed, just like us. Catherine blessed me. Thank you, Jeanette did too. Thank you for that. That was quite a sneeze, wasn't it? So look at what your gifts are. I mean, look at your intellect. Look at your emotional intellect as well, because that's an important thing. Look at your compassion and your creativity. Look at your determination, your athleticism, even your sense of humor. And look how you can apply these to find the fulfillment that Aren't we all looking for that? Aren't we all looking for that? Because that is where our purpose is found, in the fulfillment part. So this is the thing that I want you to take a look at too. And this is the whammy. Happiness is a fleeting emotion and it is a brief, temporary thing, while fulfillment is infinite because it relies on you and what's inside of you. And you get to pull that out. You get to use that. Some days it might be a creative thing. It might be an athletic thing. It might be, humor. It might be, it might be something that, just completely takes you by surprise. But the thing is, um, you're continually growing as you use your unique gifts to seek out fulfillment because your purpose is all wrapped up in them. Isn't that cool? I think that's profound. And I think that's the thing that we need to be looking at. And there's research and science, of course, behind all of this. There's a guy called Martin Seligman, and he emphasized that true well-being it involves elements way beyond just mere happiness. And he has this thing that he calls the PERMA model. If you're taking notes, this is a good thing to take. And by the way, they'll be in the show notes. So if you're getting your show notes, then you'll have this. But PERMA stands for 1 is positive emotion, 2 is engagement, 3 relationships, 4 meaning, and 5 is accomplishments. You see that? And it's kind of a hierarchy. And the neuroscience of all of this shows that this type of altruistic behavior activates the brain's reward system. So you're getting a dopamine hit and you're getting oxytocin. And oxytocin we get from physical contact, but we don't have to have physical contact. But it is that profound and really moves the needle in our lives, and moves the needle in our emotions, and moves the needle in the way we feel about ourselves in the world around us and what we are doing. That's significant and huge. Hi, Alice, by the way. We call it living in full bloom, y'all. That's what we call it. And I want to talk about that because this is all about, again, embracing the fullness of yourself, heart, mind, body, and soul. That is how you're going to reach your highest potential. And it's also how you're going to find your unique gifts. Because they're not all just in one thing. They're in all of who you are. And they might be expressed in different ways, and we don't know about it yet. That's why I love this. I've got 5 practical steps to help you get there. You ready? Number 1 is to identify what your unique gifts are. What are they exactly? What strengths do you have? What passions do you have? How does it show up? Our Jenny right now is at this art retreat because art is her thing and she loves it. And she loves crafts and doing things with her hands. And she's talented at it. And it's showing up and it gives her that true sense of fulfillment. I actually get it on the pickleball court. Why do you think I'm there all the time working on that? There's a sense that you get from that accomplishment, from the athleticism, from all the rest of it. It's when you get lost in time with something, and not just like with a book, reading a book or whatever, but there's more significance attached to it. Because we can all lose track of time in a good series on Netflix or reading a good series of books or whatever. But when you have somebody who comes along and says, you're really good at this or you're really good at that, and I really appreciate the way you speak or you say something or you show up on the pickleball courts or the beautiful art that you make, etc., those are clues that these are your unique gifts because they've been noticed, right? And that's part of it. The other thing is that we have to, when we start to understand and discover all of this, we have to start creating meaningful goals that attach themselves and that are aligned with our unique gifts. It's no fun trying to put a square peg in a round hole. And you don't need to create and be something that you're not. Remember this. We are not dancing to somebody else's music, nor are we performing on their stages. It's not about people pleasing, it's about pleasing yourself. And as you figure this out and you see your unique gifts in motion and doing something, the fulfillment starts to present itself, and your purpose in it is evident. Isn't that cool how this all connects together? This is why, our goals need to be so completely personal. But your goals, when you're doing this, they also have a profound impact on others. It's not just about you, it's about spilling over, which I love. The other thing is, we also need to engage in more altruistic behavior. I like to say it's more like wholehearted living. In other words, a little volunteerism here and there, doing something that goes beyond who we are, supporting causes that we believe in, mentoring somebody younger than us. All of that gives us a sense of satisfaction and a sense of purpose, and helps us to see that our impact, our contribution is important. And that's significant for every single person on this planet. We all need to feel like we're a part of something and that we belong. And I always say you're here on purpose and for purpose. And this is one of those activities and types of behavior that really makes the difference. The other thing is building deep relationships. How often are we thinking about, I want to build a deep relationship? Do we think that way, or does it just happen? And I think a lot of times it just happens. But what if, instead of just allowing for the happening part, is that we just set on ourselves on the path of, this is what I want. I want a deep relationship with my spouse. I want a deep relationship with my child. I want a deep relationship with my girlfriends, whatever it is. When we are on that path, living intentionally, then what we find is lasting fulfillment, because everything is done on intention. Today I was playing pickleball, and my partner at the time was Deb, and her code word for me was intention. There was a woman that we wanted to drop the ball in front of because she wasn't running up to the front. So we're going to keep her back as long as we could. And that was our intention. And it made a difference in what our strategy was for the game. Do you see where I'm going with all of this? This is what it is. This is how we play the game of life, not just pickleball, but how we play the game of life, intentionally putting things in front of others and intentionally putting our goals out there, lining them up with what it is that we truly believe about ourselves and the gifts that we're trying to express. This is just fulfillment at its best. And the other thing is that adds to this and just gives it that yummy flavor of, this is what I want my life to look like, is when we sprinkle gratitude all over the top. You know that. I love to keep, I don't keep just a gratitude journal. I keep gratitude in my journal. I take gratitude walks. I know when I'm feeling off, that it's from the perspective, my perspective anyway, is that I'm not being grateful enough for what's going on around me. I'm not noticing those good things. And when we do this, and when we put these things out like that, things start to really, really shift and change, because now we've got more of the same to really enjoy. It makes all the difference in the world. Rebecca says, I do make a conscious effort to go out of my way for new friendships. I paid for my friend's movie ticket, and that was a way to show her that I value our friendship, even though we've known each other only for a year. Those are like sweet, kind things to do, and intentional. That's exactly it, Rebecca. We can do that. Invite somebody for tea. Invite somebody to, I just got an invitation from a woman who wants to friend me to go paddleboarding with her. I'm like, cool, I've got a paddleboard. I'll meet you in the middle of the lake. Fun, right? That's it right there. And it builds the deepness and the fulfillment that we're looking for. Not just fly away happiness that's here today and gone tomorrow, but deep and lasting fulfillment. That's where we are in this stage of life anyway, right? So here's a practical thing that you can do, and with your journal. All right. Write about a time when you felt really and truly fulfilled. What were the circumstances with it? What was the scenario? And how did you feel along the way? Why did you have that fulfilled feeling? Were you using a gift, or was it fulfilling a goal that you had? Whatever it was. We know that the external is also, being happy about an external circumstance is going to be fleeting. We know that fulfillment is going to be deep and abiding. So if we can see the connection between these two, and we can see the connection between the using of your gifts, then we're going to start to really cultivate those gifts even more. And here's the thing that's really yummy about this whole thing. The cultivation of your own gifts means that you're going to further them, make them better, improve upon them. What do you think that does to your contribution to this world? It's everything. It's everything. So today's show notes, you're going to see there's, it's going to be all about this stuff, and it's going to have everything in there, but it's also going to have some of the studies that it came from. And if you want to look that stuff up, it's kind of interesting. But here's the thing that I want to leave you with, and I think is the most important part, is that you can transition from seeking temporary happiness to achieving lasting fulfillment and living a life in full bloom. When you recognize and realize this is the stuff that's within, the God-given, God-granted things that are inside of you, that you're here to serve a purpose. You're here on purpose and for purpose. And it's your gifts that are going to lead you to lasting fulfillment. And we all have them. All right. There you go. There's your show for today. I'm going to see if I can figure out the outro thingy. Meanwhile, I want you to remember that savingdinner.com/bloom is our full bloom class that's going to be starting. I can't even remember when. I hope Jenny's having a wonderful time too, Catherine. I'm just so glad she's enjoying her time. She still sends me little notes and what have you, but this is a regular thing for her. I think it's her 3rd year now doing this. But this is what I want for you to do, is go check this page out, savingdinner.com/bloom, and you'll get all the lowdown on this class that's coming out. It's going to be a 2-hour class each time, so you need to schedule your time accordingly. It's going to go deep, it's going to go wide, and it's going to be really something that I hope is for you. Check it out, savingdinner.com/bloom. Thanks for joining me today. I appreciate you so much. Bye-bye. See if I can do this.
Thank you for joining me today. You can find me on TikTok for daily tips to help support your most vibrant life. And remember, you are the author of your own story. Until next time.